Well, Jim, thanks for joining this impromptu meeting. This is not an open AI board meeting, so you're still going to be part of the S2J group.
Okay.
Um, so Justin called me yesterday and was going to tell me some news, and I interrupted him. Then I made it about myself, but then I said, let's record it. So, Justin, feel free to share the news.
Yeah, so the title of the meeting's a little bit misleading. It wasn't exactly.
I didn't know the full story.
Yeah, it wasn't that Justin quits. It was that Justin and his boss had a discussion about the direction of the company and my future there, and we're not really in alignment. So rather than giving me walking papers or pink papers or anything like that, we're going to transition my role to be more of a 1099 contract consultant worker, kind of working on an as needed basis. So,
okay.
Yeah, the type of work that they're getting right now is different than what my skill set needs or provides. And so while there is still some need for what I can do, it's not going to be a full-time basis. So I think this was one thing that I did to salvage the relationship a little bit, because it was just going to be a flat out, you're going to get until February and try to figure out what you're going to do after that, because we're done. And so in this way, I was able to think a little bit on my toes and figure out how I can still sort of add value and stay in the game a little bit without having to fully pull out, and kind of be able to maintain some of my work experience and just ability to stay active while still pursuing other things. So I think that maybe this was a little bit of a blessing in disguise, because I was just talking with Anna about it, and when I called Seymour yesterday, he kind of said the same thing, which was maybe we're both destined for doing something serious with S2J again. So I'm of that same mindset.
Can't see my big smile, but keep going.
So I think from some of our other calls, there's appetite among the three of us to pick this up again and give it a fair go. I'm all for it. I think maybe the last couple of years we kind of got a little bit distracted or just found other things to keep us focused. But
single income, 3 kids, that's what happened.
Soon to be 4, right?
I was going to say, yeah, I was going to say, you mean amongst all of us, right?
Yeah, or 0 income, 3 kids.
Yeah, true.
Well, so I mean, we've got some financial runway. It's not going to be forever, but I do want to make a serious go at this time.
Now's the time for Q&As, Jim, if you have any questions.
Hold on, sorry. I just want to go back, because you and I talked last time, Justin. I knew you were thinking about the future. I mean, not to like get all painful, but I am curious, like, were you kind of coming to the meeting with one perspective of like, how do I keep advancing? And then you sort of realized where he was going, or I guess, yeah. What was that moment like where you realized, oh wait, it's not just I might advance as far as I want. This might be going the total opposite way.
Yeah. So it was a little bit of my wanting to know, like, well, what is the future that I have here? I've been kind of stagnant at my role for the last 5 years, and what is it going to take to
5 years? What do you mean stagnant? 5 years?
Yeah, like I haven't gotten a title promotion. I've gotten more responsibility.
Okay.
I've got more responsibility, and I've been, participating with a lot of the recruiting efforts and stuff like that. So I see the types of people who are coming through the door who are not exactly like me, that are getting the same title as I am, or above. And I'm thinking, well, maybe this is, the ship is adjusting. And if I do want to try and move up here, like where do I need to make adjustments? Where do I need to make adjustments? And so she said, well, the projects that we are getting are of this nature, and the skill sets that you bring, Justin, like it's very technical, and you're very capable. What we need are people who can do more of this other accounting type work, and that's definitely not my background and not really an area of interest for me to try and retool and learn. So that's when we kind of started having a much more honest conversation about, well, what does the future look like?
And
So
well,
so it was a little bit of a realization that the conversation shifted, but I think um it's for the best.
So the conversation was around 2024, and then it turned into something else.
Yeah, it was about planning for 2024 and like where are we going. She had actually come in with the expectation like, hey Justin, your skill set isn't exactly what we're needing anymore. So it was going to be, here's your 2 week or your
Oh,
2 months. Yeah. And then I tried to salvage it a little bit by
I see.
converting. Yeah. So it was a surprise for me. But I think,
sorry, and just one more. Was this a meeting you requested, or this was like a one-on-one, or?
yeah, this was a one-on-one. It was kind of we get together once a quarter. But then this particular one had a topic of, planning for next year. So there was no like heads up or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where you're. I mean, I don't know if you need this kind of empathy or not. This just sounds real shitty. Like, what the hell did she do coming to this meeting with no fair warning, no like. I mean, again, I've been out of corporate now for 9 months, so I don't know, but this just seems way out of left field, or at least based on what I've heard from you, it does.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I mean, I didn't feel like there was any warning at all. And so I did the best I could to try to salvage it. I mean, she's like, I appreciate what you've been doing for the last 5 years, and we want to make sure you're taken care of. And so 2 months is what we can do. We're a really small company. We want to try to stay nimble with, the projects that we're getting and then the skill sets that we're staffing. So, I mean, I didn't take it too personal. I feel like it's business, and it is a small company. She had to make some tough calls. I did give her some grace because, through COVID, they floated me without any projects while I was on the bench for like 9 months. So it was a different situation than it is now.
Jim, hold on. You made a follow-up question to Jim's question for Jim.
Yeah.
You ran a $50 million business unit, over 150 people, and then you ran a bigger group in corporate America. So why are you saying this was shitty when it seems like it's kind of it wouldn't surprise me that they would do it? What am I
Yeah,
missing?
I mean, listen, there's times where you're going through whatever rounds of layoffs, retrenchment, whatever you want to call that. That's fine. You come to the day, times aren't good, times are tough, whatever. I didn't hear any of that in this one. If we're talking about a performance issue, that's something that should have clearly been documented all along the way. And maybe there have been signals, Justin, and you just didn't share them with us. But like things like, hey, Justin, we're trying to get tooled up for this kind of projects. It'd be great if you did X, Y, Z. What'd you say, tool set? Even something more even prescriptive like that. Less like what you're not, maybe less what you're doing wrong, more like where you need to be focused. But I don't know. So I'm thinking part of that, Seymour, and then the other part is more like it's hard. I'm coming at it from Justin's perspective as he's filtered the information to us. And again, my view from last Thursday after talking with Justin was like, oh, I'm going to ask my boss if I can have a chat about where I'm going to be in 5 years.
Oh, I see.
So that's why I'm still processing it through that lens, which is why it feels very abrupt and like poor form to me.
Mm-hmm. And the company was struggling a little bit, right? It's not like you have a wave of new clients in this new consulting.
So I would say that the pipeline is healthy, but actual work that's been signed is not. They have a lot of stuff that's irons in the fire that's close, and they keep saying that it's really close. We're going to sign something, but there's no details, there's no signatures, there's no agreement. And so, and being kind of on the front end where my role has been with some of the recruiting, we've slowed that down quite a bit because we've got people in the pipeline that are ready to go, but we haven't pulled the trigger on any of them yet. So as kind of a little bit of a leading indicator, I'm sure with a small business, you don't want to bring people on and just have them sit on the bench. And the people that we do have in the pipeline have a different skill set than I do. So those people that are in the pipeline are kind of specifically being targeted for some of the projects that we do have that are supposed to come to fruition. And those skill sets don't exactly align with what it is that I do.
Can we attribute any blame here to the business process coach? The trendy coach with all of his fancy sayings and systems?
I think maybe a little bit. There was some terminology being used there, like right people, right seats versus right people, wrong seats.
Right size the company.
Keep going.
Yeah. So they're like, so the feedback for me was, hey, you're great people. We don't have anything that's going to necessarily fit the seat that you're in, Justin. So
are they making a strategic shift because that's where the deals that they are in the pipeline, because that was the deals they were able to sign, or are they making a strategic shift because that's what they want to do? Or that, I mean, how could you guys not have the skill set, but the partners have the skill sets? That's what.
Yeah. So prior to this savvy business coach, we were taking any and all kinds of work that we could get. Right. We're a really small firm. If there was a project that needed a certain skill set, they would go out and find that skill set. And so I matched that skill set that they've been needing up until, all the projects that I've had so far. But because the coaches come in and said, hey, you guys focus on, if you're trying to reach these 10-year targets and goals, what is your plan to get there? How do you define that? And so they did go through those exercises. The leadership did go through those exercises and to define, well, what is it that we really love to do and the things that make us differentiated. And so the types of work that I was doing wasn't really on that path, but these other new projects that they're trying to sign are. And so when they're talking about, well, what kinds of skills do we need of our people to be able to do this type of work? They have kind of an outline of a profile. They've tried to stand up some internal training, I guess, resources. But all that stuff is geared toward more like younger, earlier in their career people who can grow into it from kind of like a training perspective. But otherwise, like their immediate needs for projects that they're about to sign are who they have in their hiring pipeline right now, so that they don't need to get that training. They just come in and hit the ground running, sort of like I did 5 years ago when I first joined. So the projects that they've been trying to win and that they've been talking about as far as forming their core competence around are those types of kind of accounting projects.
Got it.
Yeah. So that's interesting, Jim, that you kind of mentioned that. I was thinking that there was some really good stuff that the business coach was doing. I mean, I think I still believe that the coach is doing the right thing for the firm. It's just that my trajectory didn't really align with what that is, which is, I mean, it's fine for me. I don't necessarily want to be in a company or a job that, we don't have super alignment on the direction that they're going and the direction that I want to go, because I'm not going to be able to thrive and I'm not going to be able to get opportunities that I want to be able to grow.
No, it makes sense. And like you said, it probably is the best for the partners and the business. So sorry, I'm I'm just still in grief and denial stage for you, Justin. So I'll get out of it quickly.
Yeah, this is news for you. I mean, I've had a couple days to sit on it and think about it, and what I was not wanting to spend too much time was just the grief stage of it and figuring out how to move on for this call. But thank you.
Like a side of Jim, I feel like I didn't know he had.
You mean, but you know, I adapted the situation. Seymour, you didn't need that, right? Or I don't think you need, or I don't think you wanted it. Maybe you need it, but you didn't.
Why do you assume that I feel left out? What are you talking about?
I know. Recent events. Cool. So S2J 2.0. Can we call it that?
Well, first, I want to know what is going to be our LinkedIn goodbye post going to sound like?
Is it going to be as good as Kevin McCarthy's?
I was part of the Spotify layoff. You've heard it globally. Kind of mix it in with that.
I'm just going to say that it's part of the job numbers that came out yesterday. Yeah, I'm not worried about it though.
Good.
And I haven't even thought about what my LinkedIn is going to say. I mean, technically I'm still with the firm, so.
I mean, can they do anything? I haven't changed mine since I left my last company.
No, I mean, they can't really do anything. It's your own personal profile. I guess all they can do is like have everyone spam you to say, please change your profile because it doesn't match. But like, we're such a small firm, they might even appreciate having more followers.
Right.
You said until beginning of February or end of February?
So the original discussion that I came into the conversation that my boss was going to say, like, it was going to go until end of January. So like January 31 would be it, and then then we would cut ties.
3 more paychecks, more or less.
Yeah, but
you got one more paycheck than I did.
Well, I might be able to stretch it a few more paychecks with whatever contract work that might come through. So,
but officially,
yeah, but it's not going to be full-time work.
Do you have a lot of work to do in the next 6 weeks?
Not for the next 6 weeks, but I was talking with one of the other principal leaders in the company who's got working on one of the projects that does have a kind of alignment of my skill set. And she was saying stuff might pick up in February. So we'll see. For now, it's updating resumes and exploring other stuff I'll be throwing a lot more time into S2J. We got some other ideas actually.
And that thing behind you.
Yeah.
Low blow, jeez.
What are you talking about? That's what you told me to do, Jim, or something like that. Make sure to take care of yourself.
Well, the holidays are coming up, so I got to bulk up for that, right? And then I can work it off. Yeah, so maybe some trips out to Arizona, into Austin.
Because
partners are time.
Oh, okay.
We didn't have one for 2023, so I think we might try and catch one after the holidays. How's that?
Well, I've been desperately trying to get Victoria to be my co-host, non-video co-host, and she again refused yesterday. So maybe if you have time to do that, you can at least help me, give me confidence to scratch my itch on a consistent basis.
Wait, sure. I missed that. Wait, co-host on what?
So I can keep doing my channel and keep talking, but I just wanted like a random person to bounce comments with, and she just wouldn't do it.
I see.
So maybe I can steal you, Justin.
Well, I don't really follow politics, but I can definitely.
That's even better. Now, just make it even better.
It'll all be. Explain, what does that mean? Can you tell in your words? How do you define woke?
Why do you assume I'll go there?
So, anyway, I hope to see you guys more frequently on our
Oops.
Thursday calls.